Chapter 18 Maniac Magee. Amanda tried to reason with him. You can't listen to that old coot. He's goofy. He's always saying stuff like that. You can't go because of something one nut old coot says. Maniac pointed out that it wasn't the nutty old coot who chalked up the front of the house. Amanda laughed. That? That's no big deal. It wasn't even paint. If they really meant it, they would have done it in paint. And anyway, don't you know don't you know they did my mother a favor? It gave her a chance to get out the old bucket and do some serious scrubbing. Ever since the kids stopped crying in the house, she hasn't known what to do with herself. Now she's happy again. Maniac didn't answer. Amanda didn't understand that most of the hurt he felt was not for himself, but for her and the rest of the family. She stomped her foot. You gotta stay. I don't gotta do anything. You go and you'll starve. Was I starving before I came here? You'll freeze to death in the winter. Your fingers will go stiff and they'll break off like icicles. I'll go somewhere. Somewhere like the deer pen. I'll be okay. Or maybe Prairie Dog Town, huh? How about that? She jabbed him. You could live in a gopher hole. You'd be starving so that you'd be perfect because you'd be so skinny you could fit right down through the snugly in those little tunnels. He shrugged. Sounds cozy. This was driving Amanda bonkers. He was acting so different, all glum and wiseacre answers, as if he didn't care about anything. Yeah, she sniffed. Well, there you got to go for a pillow, huh? I know you put my pillow on the floor. I'll use a hibernating gopher. Ah, the bathroom, huh? Where will you go to the bathroom? The bushes, McDonald's, lots of places. She hated it. An answer for everything. And the scarier part was, he was probably right. If anybody could survive on the loose, it would be this kid who showed up from Hollinsburg, who slept on flowers, who outran dogs. He was making her so mad. She pointed at him. She sneered. Well, I'll tell you one thing, buddy boy. You better shut the door on your way out and lock it, because if I get my room back, I'm not giving it up again. Don't ever come crawling back here. She kicked him in the sneaker. You hear? Don't worry, he said flatly. And don't think you're taking any of my books with you this time either. You can forget about ever getting a chance to open my Encyclopedia A, which I was almost ready to let you do before you went and started acting all poopy. He said, I'll join the library. She jumped up. Ha, you can't. No. No, you need a library card. I'll get one. Ha ha, you can't get a library card without an address. She regretted it as soon as she said it. His head swung. His eyes met hers. His eyes said, why did you say that? Her eyes couldn't answer. He got up and went and trotted out to the street. Amanda cried. She tore a magazine in half. She punched the sofa. She kicked the easy chair. She kicked Bow Wow. Bow Wow went yelping into the kitchen. See, she yelled at the front door. See what you made me do, Jeffrey Magee? Jeffrey Maniac, crazy man, Bozo Magee? He wasn't back by lunch. He wasn't back by dinner. I'm going looking, Amanda told her worried parents. No one tried to stop her. She rode her bike all over the East End, the West End. She even went over to Bridgeport, practically getting herself killed on the bridge. She never pedaled so fast in her life, so much in her life. She didn't come home until after dark. When her parents headed upstairs to bed, she asked if she could stay up and watch TV. They looked at each other and said, okay. She was nodding off in the middle of some late movie when the door opened and he walked in. What are you doing up so late? He asked. I'm incubating an egg, she snarled. She shrugged and went upstairs. She closed her eyes and smiled. Next morning, a little kid from 3 blocks away came knocking at the front door. His yo-yo string had a knot fat as a mushroom. As Amanda watched Maniac tackle the knot, an idea slithered into her brain. When the little kid left with his string as good as new, she said, Jeffrey, if I knew some way that you could make it okay for you to stay, would you? What do you mean, okay, he said. I mean that even if there's 1 or 2 people who aren't wild about you now, that's all there really are. And then even they would like you. And everybody else who already likes you, they would like you even more. Purely out of curiosity, Maniac replied, "How would all that supposed to happen?" Amanda told him about Cobbler's Cobble's knot.